This is all true. I'm now developed, I saw it all through. I'm more confident, I know what I'm going to do. Change was good as I have progressed more. I am going to build myself with challenges galore. With challenges galore. With challenges galore. With challenges galore. As there's no time for that. Experience is the key to be more than who I am. The moral for today is we mustn't be sucked down by all the negativity which always goes around. No one can stop us from reaching our dreams. With belief and focus, you'll know what I mean. Destructive energy will always be there. Don't let it get to you and fill you up with fear.
Hello everybody, hopefully I can be heard all over the nation here. It is Nick C with the Community News episode number 27 this evening. So of course get interactive if you can, if you're watching live here a little bit earlier than usual. Normally I do this at 11:30 at night. But we've changed the time slightly. But, of course, it was originally going to be at 7:30. But, of course, I had to do other bits and pieces in the meantime. So that is why I'm flexible from time to time. So, yeah, I'll be talking about, of course, the channel in the actual show. And, of course, what might be happening. And, of course, we'll give you more details as time progresses. And, of course, we've got the UCB word for today as well, which is quite exciting to know about as well. The United Christian Broadcasters word for today. I'm going to read 2 segments of that, and that's coming up shortly. And some events which are quite useful as well. And I'll be talking about a little bit, of course, of the, I would say, the research that I've found of Christmas and what it means to everyone to pretty much get together. And it is a celebration of birth of Jesus Christ, as we know. And as we know, it is primarily on the 25th of December. So that's what part of the research that I can remember to actually say out loud right now. If you're watching on the captions, we do appreciate you watching them. Hopefully there won't be any swear words like the F word or anything like that. You know the crack, and of course you know exactly, hopefully, what I'm speaking about. So big hi to Andy B out there. Hello to, of course, Nicole out there. And hello to, of course, the team of Beauty Sound, which is JC and Nixie, Nixie being me. And I'll talk about the Beauty Sound section in the show, well, within the show. And we'll have a sample coming to you exclusively here from the Old Independent Church. I actually refer it to Cold Independent Church. So hopefully we'll get some people watching this evening. I'm going to actually test if my sound is actually coming out on the air. Sorry if I'm running out of time here with my words, as in running out of breath. Sometimes that does happen. So Yeah, hi to everyone. So please do, of course, welcome yourself to the chat. And if you want to say Merry Christmas or something or similar kind, then feel free to, of course, n- just basically put a comment down below. And of course, we'll put it on the air for you as well if you want to come and say hello to us as well. There will be mods about here, and hopefully, of course, we'll get some interest of the public for our brand new show, which is arriving after, of course, two more episodes of the community news program, which basically will be similar to this, but of course, in a kind of different sort of way. And we might add some kind of like features or, of course, extra features that you won't get on this one here. And we're hoping to have guests on the program as well, which will be quite nice as well. And of course, yes, we will promote as best as we can on the other sources like We Love Haverhill, which got over a grand of people on there supporting the page as well. And we got We Love East Anglia, all uncensored, by the way, and the same as Cambridge uncensored as well. We Love Cambridge uncensored. But yeah, Haverhill and local news is nothing to do with us as well. They've got two groups of that, one with a yellow background and one with just Haverhill and local news with some other admin running it. That's all on Facebook, and I'll go a bit more in depth with the actual channel a little bit later on in the program. So, shall I actually start with, yeah, you've guessed it already, the word for today. Now, if you don't know word for today, word for today is based on two radio stations that you can listen to anytime. Number one and number two, whatever takes your fancy, have a listen to. I've had a listen to a couple of shows there, and of course, some are very inspiring indeed. And you can have your prayer read on the air, apparently. So, and you can actually donate to the station. But the magazines that are distributed around the world is called UCB, which is United Christian Broadcasters Word for Today. So I'm actually going to read to you live and in living colour here. Let's hope that we don't get any breaks in the stream like we normally do have, which is really, really shame when that happens. But we're going to have a little bit of a background noise here. Let's see if we can have a bit of a background one. Let's see if I can play it. A little bit quiet here, so hopefully you can still hear my voice here. This is my own composition, by the way, in the background, called ambient sound. And there was a part of that was actually feeling good or something like that. I'm sure it's something on that lines. But yeah, I'm now going to talk you through You Have a Gift God Can Use. Okay? I'll be talking to you as I'm sort of taking segments out of this. The subheadline reads We all have different gifts, each of which came because of the grace God gave us. Okay, I'm not trying to preach to anyone, even to those atheists out there that don't actually believe in the Christ of Jesus or even God. But of course, hopefully there will be good reads out there for you to enjoy. Right, the paragraph reads A pastor writes, God used a seemingly random skill to strategically position David. And the slingshot skill isn't the only example. When David played the harp, he soothed soul spirits. That's how David met Jonathan, King Saul's son. And that's how he learned the customs, as in customs of the king's court. Without his musical skills, David wouldn't even gotten a foot in the door. You never know what skill God will use for his purposes. So don't underestimate the strangest of skills. God can use anything for his purposes if we simply allow ourselves to be used by Him. God used Noah's boat building skills, Joseph's ability to interpret dreams, and the Magi's astrological, I think that's pronounced right, knowledge. No skill is unredeemable or unusable in God's grand scheme. But here's what here's what you need to see. The greatest Psalms came out of the worst circumstances. The most comforting Psalms are written in the most uncomfortable situations. David was walking through the valley of the shadow of death. David is agonizing over his adulterous affair with Bathsheba. David is a fugitive hiding out in the caves of Adullam. David didn't want to be in any of those situations, but they produced the profound lyrics we find in Psalm 23, Psalm 51, and Psalm 142. Maybe you're wrestling with depression or reeling from a mistake that seems unforgivable, or just sick and tired of being sick and tired. So you may not like your present circumstances, but they may be the key to your character development. And character development is the key to your future. So hopefully you enjoy that nonetheless here. And thank you very much for staying with the one you're on. And thank you very much, God, for the sound today, because obviously it's coming out and I have tested that, by the way. So yeah, another one is coming up in just a moment here. We will have a bit of a break in between. So of course you will hear some music whilst of course we are preparing for the next half of the actual show, and that will be in about 15 minutes time. But yeah, let's go over to some events here. So if you have an event that you'd like to share with us with the show, something similar of what we might be doing on the brand new show after the 30th episode, and it is the final ever, I think it's going to be the final ever of Community News with Nick C. But, of course, Nick C will be hosting a similar show after 30 episodes of doing the show. The shows will stay exactly on the channel as they are, but, of course, it will be under a new name. And more details in coming times will occur. So please do stay with the one you're on. Okay. Okay, where in town has a computer to print off some paperwork? Of course, a library is the only solution to that one. That's the library in Haverhill, and there might be a library near you in your own town as well. Something to note about as well, which is quite fascinating as well. Right, okay, let's talk more about the events. Right, okay. These are the local ones. Of course, there is an event this Saturday. Okay. And it takes place on the Saturday, the 20th of December, 2025. And it is Father Christmas at Audley End House and Gardens. Oh, interesting. And there's also one on Sunday, the 21st of December, 2025. All kicking off at 20 past 10 in the morning, apparently so. Yeah, it looks like it's 10:20. I don't think it'd be 10:20 at night. So yeah, that's quite early, to be honest with you, if you get up that sort of early. And I'll tell you what to expect in just a bit. But yeah, just bear in mind these events are obsolete if you're watching in the too much distance future and the further future as well. And of course, Father Christmas at Audley End House and Gardens is at Saffron Warden in United Kingdom. And you can get tickets on the Facebook event site of this particular post. And what to expect I'm about to tell you. Join Father Christmas, if you believe in Father Christmas, that is. Some of you do. At Audley House, which is on the outskirts of Sudbury in Essex, and Gardens this winter for a magical way to start the festive season. And Father Christmas is taking time out of his busy festive schedule to tell some of his favourite seasonal stories around Christmas tree or around the Christmas tree. After the group storytelling sessions, you and your children will meet the man himself, if you believe in him, that is. Some say he's real, some say he's not. With the chance to take photographs and make memories to treasure. Father Christmas will also give every child a traditional present to unwrap, which is fantastic. So, yeah, where's my present? That is for hosting this show. Anyway, of course, the sessions will take place at 10:20, 11 o'clock, 11:40, 12:20, 1:40, 2:40, and 3 o'clock. And quiet sessions with Father Christmas, personally, will take place on Saturday, the 29th of November, which has now passed us. Would have been 29th of November at 10:20 a.m. and Sunday, the 7th of December, which has now passed us at 3 o'clock. Quiet sessions aimed at visitors who will benefit from more relaxed visit with Father Christmas. During these sessions, there will be at reduced capacity, allowing more time and a calmer experience. This includes a group or the group storytelling session and a small present. Okay, so I remind you the dates of that, of course, for any families that are interested in that. Of course, Saturday, the 20th of December 2025. 10:20 it starts, and on Sunday the 21st of December 2025 also at 10:20 as well. So welcome along to the channel here. If you are just joining us here, this is Touring with Nick C, and the show currently, of course, until the very last one of community news with Nick C. Obviously we're going to have a new logo and what kind of thing needs to come in place, and more details, as I say, on other episodes of this show and any other community news extra which I might feature along the way before we even get to the new decided program, and it will be a program for the channel. We continue with, of course, the California Dreaming Show, which is this Friday here, and bear in mind, of course, again, the date will be old if you're watching it in the future, this replay. And of course, yeah, the California Dreaming Show, of course, takes place at the Clare Town Hall, 18 Market Hill, Clare, Sudbury. What to expect? Of course, we're bringing they are bringing the California Dreaming Show back to Clare Town Hall on Friday, the 19th of December 2025. And they've also added a couple of Beach Boy tunes since the last time they played in Clare, and plus a few more from the Eagles and John Mellencamp. And the tickets are for this one, which is £15 plus a small booking fee online. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and shows start at 7:30 p.m. And that includes a licensed bar, which is kindly provided by a guy called Nick from the Swan in Clare. Okay, so that's that. And wealth making at Audley End House and Gardens, again, of course, near the Audley End train station, not far from there, but of course, it's the actual Audley End House and Gardens near Saffron Walden in Essex. And of course, this being Tuesday, the 16th of December, and there's also one on Wednesday, the 17th of December 2025, and Thursday, the 18th of December 2025. All kicking off at the same time of 9:30, by the way, all in the sort of area or the vicinity of Uttersfield, which is Saffron Walden, United Kingdom. Of course, what to expect in this event? Well, of course, join them for magnificent surroundings of the Great Hall and Audley End House and Gardens for a fabulously, festive day of wreath making, which is WREATH making. I think I pronounced that right. You'll be guided through the step-by-step process by our head gardener, or by the head gardener, Louise, as in Louise Ellis. Yeah, Louise Ellis will be the head gardener talking to you, and that will create a beautiful wealth of adorned with festive fruits and spices surrounded by greenery from the estate to take home. That also is inclusive with a delicious lunch will be served, which will be served by, of course, the housekeeper's room staff, and of course it will be in the housekeeper's room, and hot drinks will be available throughout the whole day as well, which of course is nice to know. And if you have dietary requirements, please let them know via this email, elizabeth.clark@english-heritage.org.uk. That's elizabeth.clark@english-heritage.org.uk. And they also recommend you dress warmly with plenty of layers, because it's going to be blooming cold out there, especially out at this time of the year. Hopefully it'll be an enjoyable event for everybody there. If you like your pantos, of which, of course, sometimes comedy is going into panto style, I'd like to welcome you to this event. I probably personally won't be going, but of course it sounds interesting. I won't be able to make it, unfortunately, but of course a couple of people may be going, about 8 according to this event. And it is The Beauty and the Beast. Takes place at the Haverhill Art Centre in Haverhill, Suffolk. And of course, according to this, it's Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Maybe that's the booking times, I don't know. But of course, according to that, under the What to Expect, Beauty and the Beast, 17th, and it goes up until the 31st of December 2025. So, of course, this is also What to Expect here, and you can find the tickets on the actual event on Facebook if you happen to be on there to purchase, or you can find them at the box office, I presume. But bear in mind that there is a booking fee online if you book them online. It usually is if you happen to order the tickets online. So anyway, join them for a tale almost as old as time. Can Belly, which is spelt Belle, see beyond the monster? And will the beast learn the true meaning of love? Interesting. Join them for an ultimate adventure, or adventure actually is the right word, to break the curse before the final petal falls from an enchanted rose. You've got to see it to believe it, as in Belle. This beauty of a panto is packed with songs, side-splitting jokes, and will be spellbinding, festive fun for the whole family. And of course, I remind you yet again the date and time for this one. Well, of course, it's got the time here. According to that, is at 10 o'clock in the morning. I believe that is the true time. 17th to the 31st of December. So, yeah, that's when the play is showing. All right, okay. So, yeah, it's quite an early show, to be honest with you. I'll tell you some more events later on in the programme. We've got about 5 minutes here. It's time to go to a break while we talk about, of course, a little bit of the channel. And we've got God Has a Plan for Your Life coming on its way soon. So, yeah, of course, it does follow after the beautiful sounds coming from, of course, the breather that we're going to give to you now. So please embrace yourself, because on the other side, we've got God Has a Plan for Your Life. We are God's masterpiece, planned long ago. That's the subline for that section. So do join us in a couple of shakes right after this.
I have returned like a bolt from the blue. You better believe it, as this is all true. I'm now developed, I saw it all through. I'm more confident, I know what I'm going to do. Change was good as I have progressed more. I am going to build myself with challenges galore. With challenges galore. With challenges galore. With challenges galore.
Back, room, outer space. 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 Back, room, outer space.
I will not regress as there's no time for that. Experience is the key to be more than who I am. The moral for today is we mustn't be sucked down by all the negativity which always goes around. No one can stop us from reaching our dreams. With belief and focus, you'll know what I mean. Destructive energy will always be there. Don't let it get to you and fill you up with fear. Be more than who you are. Don't be sucked down. Believe in yourself. Be more than who you are. Don't be sucked down. Believe in yourself.
Back, room, outer space. Back, room, outer space.
Back from outer space. Back from outer space. Back from outer space. Back from outer space.
Back, room, outer space. Back, room, outer space.
Okay, nearly didn't have my microphone back on, but hopefully going to we and provide the community for you as well at the same time. So welcome along to the show, of course, and we have an event that we would like to share with you, and just is it still on air? Hopefully going to yeah, it seems to be all right. It might just flicker a little bit, but of course it seems to be back on at the moment. Here, lucky we've got a good connection here that will enable us to carry on streaming for the time being anyway, because sometimes you can't really rely on 4G these days, not even 5G. There's a lot of it, not a lot of 5G in the UK area. Seems to be more working better apparently abroad than it is over in the United Kingdom. But yeah, just like to show you this event that has just come in here at 37 Audley Road. Yeah, the Audley Road here. Excuse me. And of course, that's in Saffron Walden in Essex. I've actually been to that building. It's not a bad building. It's got a nice little hall to it, and of course, it's got a nice little table kind of dining area and a bar to it. And this Golden Era or the Golden Era Jazz Band is live this Sunday at 2 p.m. and it's in a nice little warm place at the, of course, Fairy Tale. Sorry, not the Fairy Tale. That's of course Fairy Tale in New York, isn't it? Fairycroft House, Preval. Can't get the word out. It is, of course, Fairycroft House proudly presents the Golden Era Jazz Band, Sunday the 21st of December 2025. Doors opening at 1:30 p.m. and the show starts at 2 p.m. So if you want to come along, feel free to do so. Of course, what do you expect to see? Well, of course, the Golden Era Jazz Band returns to Fairycroft House. Join them, which I've actually joined them for a VE day in the summer at the it's the Jubilee Gardens, which is next to the Jubilee Hub, and don't get mixed up with the Jubilee Gardens and the Jubilee Hub. That's two separate things, by the way. I'll talk about that in just a moment. But of course, you can join them for a toe tapping afternoon of live traditional jazz with the brilliant Golden Era Jazz Band, backed by popular demand. Okay, doors opening, as I say, at 1:30 p.m. and show starting at 2 p.m. And location of this particular event is Fairycroft House of Saffron Walden, Essex, CB11 3HD. It is a free entry and no tickets required. Donation buckets will be available if you want to donate to the actual jazz band itself. So, yeah, the bar is open throughout and free limited parking available on site. And of course, any contributions towards the band's costs are greatly, of course, appreciated because it's their time and effort to perform. I presume it'll be in the hall, and I think there's a stage as well. So, yeah, it's worth popping along if you're able to get there on a Sunday. And bring your friends and enjoy a relaxed, uplifting afternoon of great music and good company in the warm and welcoming setting of Fairycroft House. Fantastic place to go to. So, they do events like that on a Sunday, which is fantastic. So pop along to that if you're able to in Saffron Walden in Essex. If there is an event near you that we have not yet mentioned or you'd like us to promote, get in touch with us, touringwithousteam@gmail.com, or you can leave us a message on our Touring with Nick C page directly on our website. We do have a website actually. mainly on the Facebook page if you can, or on X as well, and Substack under Nick C if you can find Nick C. But I do have a personal stage name account with Nick C there. How brilliant and how good is that? Right, okay, we are going to go very shortly, and it is following in just a moment. God Has a Plan for Your Life will be coming in a moment, but of course, I'd just like to share with you a video if I can. Let's cross over to it now. In fact, it is a little bit of an excerpt. Possibly very Julian, or for you, it is of course the service of First Heaven. And I do apologise if this sound is very
Good morning and welcome to St Mary's this morning.
Okay, that was, of course, I can tell you, it was just an amazing experience there, and I can say that we put that together as best as we could be able to. And of course, it came from the live service. Of course, hope of course uh, the church won't mind me putting it up here, just to of course promote the JC from the BT Sound. As well as the Church of St Mary's there, but of course, anyway, just a little bit of a mention for the St Mary's Church of Hayville. But yeah, like I say, it is fantastic that, of course, he attended that service because, the regular organist is not able to do it because, he's not currently well at the moment. But, of course, yeah, what I will say is it was the first Advent Sunday of Christmas it was taken from. So, of course, it would have been the actual date here, bear with me, of, let me just tell you, if it's the Sunday that has just gone, it would be Sunday the 14th of December 2025. So, of course, in replace for the other organist, of course, David Hart, who was doing another job in Hundon, his own church at that time. So, yeah, of course, normally he will be second to play there at the church, but of course, JC, as in the former name of Giuliani Buzz Buzz from the Nice and Relaxing Show, took his place. And I thought he'd done very, very well there. I do apologise about the sound being a bit distorted there. I think I turned, sorry, a turn. I'm beginning to sound like a Scotchman there. I turned the sound up too high on the edit suite there. I do apologise about that. So, yeah, that's another thing altogether. So, apologies about the sound there. And that's not the original sound. So, it's no fault of the actual sound at the time. I might have to re upload the actual proper sound, without it being too enhanced. So, yeah, it was a great treat to see that. And of course, on our other shows, we hope to do a section of JC from Beauty Sound, which is our other YouTube channel. We're also on TikTok as well. And of course, we both share it, whereas he actually plays the keyboard or the electronic Technics U50 organ with some beats, not all, but mainly he plays without the beats. Okay. And that's the only difference between Nick C alongside Beauty Sound to begin with. So Beauty Sound with Nick C and Beauty Sound with JC is completely separate, but we share the channel. So yeah, it's a great name to use, and of course we hope that people can subscribe to it if you haven't already, and make sure you watch the wonderful things that do occur there. And we had some sort of cuts of other places like Saffron and the travel on the number 7 bus as well, which was also used in that footage as well as the live stream at the time. But of course, we were only pretty much using the sound at the time. And of course, yeah, and a little bit of the German national anthem, which is actually a hymn. I wonder how many of you actually knew that. But anyway, we're talking about classical music here of the classic kind. But anyway, we're going to go and talk you through God Has a Plan for Your Life in just a second here. So, of course, my other channels, which are Nick C's Adventures and Beauty Sound, as I just mentioned, with Nick C and JC, which is shared. Formerly known as the Nice and Relaxing channel. I think that channel is still about, but of course, we're mainly using the Beauty Sound channel. Nick C's Adventures is just exclusive stuff that you won't get on the Touring with Nick C necessarily if you want to watch the free stuff and all that kind of thing. So we're getting to you with more extra content that you won't normally see. But we seem to have more kind of people watching on TikTok, but we need to encourage them to come over to our YouTube channel as well, because we also broadcast here. And yeah, we, of course, basically, yeah, we want to share that thought with you right this minute. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for those that have, even on replay, to watch our shows, even if you're not able to watch live, which is quite fascinating as well. I will at some point come on the Facebook page and say hello to everyone, and especially in the group of Haverhill, as in We Love Haverhill Uncensored, which is the main group which has a lot of following. And of course, yeah, I don't think any other group can ever beat that. It's even beaten, of course, Touring with NXT. How's that possible? Well, of course, um, it's the population of Haverhill in the UK, isn't it? So, of course, 2.0k members as a whole. You've got Terrific Tuesdays, which also post on there. You've got, of course, the Haverhill Echo, which, of course, a proposal to create the first floor flats in the vacant town centre betting shop, the former betting shop, which was William Hill at the time, has been rejected by the West Suffolk County Council. Something needs to be in its place, though. I don't know what it's going to be, though. But yeah, somebody has posted musical story, which is a Christmas musical story here. We'll be talking about Christmas in just a little bit here. So yeah, of course, they're exciting to invite you to our little ones to our mini classic concerts. The introduction to the world classical music, specially created for babies, toddlers, and young children. Every piece of music is carefully chosen to be engaging, gentle, and absolutely suitable for even the youngest listeners. This is a wonderful opportunity. Yeah, this is a wonderful opportunity, by the way, for discovering classical music in a warm, welcoming environment to experience the beauty of live piano playing, build a lifelong love for music, and a special culture movement together. And there aren't many chances for little ones to enjoy classical music in such a friendly and open atmosphere because it's quite rare, actually, music. And that's why they are so excited to offer this experience. This month, they are bringing the mini classics to Cambridge St Ives and Ely. Ely. So that's Cambridge St Ives and Ely. 3 charming locations where families can relax and enjoy the concert together. Really, that should go on to the Cambridge site there. Tickets are in the comments there for this event. So, wonder how much it will be for that. I will just let you know. The tickets are, if I can, no refund given. Does it say what the price is? Yeah, £15. Not to £15 and 87. Apparently, of course, it is sold on the 21st and, of course, at 3 o'clock. I think that's when the event takes place. And if you want to get the tickets, get them now. £15 and 87 there. Of course, if you want to go along to any of those events. Of course, that's Cambridge, St Ives and Ely there. So there you go. Anyone interested? 21st of December 2025. Pop along if you can. But I don't know if that's got any relation to Haverhill anyway. Someone says if there's any cleaners available to do a rough or thorough clean on my property tomorrow and change the bed sheets and everything like that. I know it's very short notice, but I could really do with a little help, and I would appreciate it so much. I live near Finchinfield, which is just outside Haverhill anyway. So yeah, that's probably old news, but yeah, big news, of course, reached at least 834 post reviews of myself, of course, posted when this was out here, probably in 2011 or something like that, quite a long time ago. Kirsty Pike was in the picture, myself and Quizmaster of Haverhill, Dave Hitchcock. Now, of course, I hear a lot of rumours that he has passed away about 3 years ago. So that is a sad note here, and I wasn't actually told about that. So I find that really, really fascinating. I just want to know why that was. But there you go. Of course, somebody, somebody says on there, "Wow, I remember Dave from the Con Club days. R.I.P. Dave." Somebody said he's passed away, unfortunately. Um, and of course, somebody said, "Sorry to hear about that. He passed away. When was that?" But of course, somebody said, "Not too sure. Been a while." Okay. So yeah. Somebody else said he passed away. Yeah, I'm not going to actually shout out names who actually said that, but of course, yeah, maybe I could say the first names. Nathan said, of course, went through a lot with him at Sainsbury's. Never will forget those days serving and chatting to him. He was an amazing person. Yes, I do agree with that. And of course, Simon said he passed away. As I say, I'm just giving you the first name here. And of course, Brett, Becky Brett, who said, hello, sorry to hear Dave passed away. And when was that? Of course, the reply from Becky herself, because that was from Maurice on Facebook. Says Maurice, I am not too sure. Been a while. And Samantha says, well, I remember Dave from the Con Club days. R.I.P. Dave Hitchcock, who was actually a Wolverhampton fan back in the day and very much loved the former White Hart of Haverhill in Suffolk. So, yeah, he'll be sadly missed. So, somebody by the name of David says, I remember applying it to go on Bullseye with him back in 89, which is 1989. Amazing. That's, of course, a great thing to say about the guy. I don't think there's that many comments about him, but of course, I find that very fascinating because he was a great guy. He loved his drink. So, yeah, if he has gone, which is the unfortunate case, then he will be missed very, very dearly because I am the first to know it recently, and it is fascinating when you just get to hear about these things. It shows you what sort of world we live in. But anyway, of course, let's push that aside, and in his memory, we'll read something amazing here. God has a plan for your life, and the sub headline is "We are God's masterpiece, planned long ago." Right, I'm going to read this from scratch here. Minister writes, to the average eye, it was a mutilated piece of marble. The aborted sculpture had been abandoned a half century earlier, but a young artist named Michelangelo, famous painter, saw something in that stone others did not. Chiseling the 18-foot block of marble would consume nearly 4 years of his life. But that seemingly worthless stone was destined to become what many consider the greatest statue ever sculptured. Michelangelo resurrected a dead stone and, breathing his artistry into it, brought David into existence. As he chiseled, he believed the masterpiece was already inside the stone. All he had to do was remove the access stone so David could escape. He didn't see what was. He saw what could be. He didn't see the perfections or imperfections in the stone. He saw a masterpiece of unparalleled beauty. And that is precisely how the artist God sees you. Okay? We are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus, so we can do the good things that he has planned for us long ago. Every work of art originates in the imagination of the artist. So, in the imagination of the artist, every work of art originates in that imagination. And so you originated in the imagination of God. You were conceived by God long before you were conceived by your parents, apparently. You took shape in the imagination of the Almighty before you took shape in your mother's womb. Regardless of what others think of you or what you think of yourself, God sees you as a potential masterpiece. Yeah, of that masterpiece. So God sees you as that masterpiece. To see yourself as anything other than that is to devalue and alter your true identity. And it's in discovering your true identity that you discover God has a plan for your life. And that is the end of the word for today. Shall I actually read you one more? And I think I'll do that very thing towards the end of the program here, because we are just running a little bit on the late side here. The show normally runs an hour here. But if you've been watching on replay, we always, as you know, appreciate it. And we always give things a go. Yeah, we always try that thing. And there's so many things that we include in the show here. And we are hoping to have guests here. And we are hoping to have a bit more of, I say, organ playing by JC from Beauty Sound. So that is to come on maybe the last few shows. And then we are going to head into a brand new format, but similar format as well. So more details is coming up within the next episodes. It will be episode number 28, 29, and final one will be the 30th episode. Something that you can remember the name of the show for many years and centuries to come. The Conquering Spirit, which we're going to finish up with today as a bonus. We have troubles all around us, but we are not defeated. Okay. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8 NCV. The Brooklyn Bridge, which links Brooklyn to Manhattan Island, is one of the most famous bridges in the world. When it was first conceived in 1867, bridge building experts throughout the world told the designer, a creative engineer by the name of John Roebling, okay, by the name of John Roebling, that his idea wouldn't work. Roebling convinced his son, Washington, who was also an engineer, that his idea had merit. The two of them developed a concept, resolved the problems others had forecast, and enthusiastically hired a crew to build the bridge. But it was after a few months of building a tragic on-site accident took John's life, and another event months later severely injured Washington, who became unable to talk or walk. Everyone thought the project would be abandoned, since the Roeblings were the only one who knew the dynamics of the building the bridge. Washington, however, could still think he had a burning desire to see the bridge finished. As he lay in his hospital bed, he had an idea. He would communicate with the engineers by using one finger to tap out in code on his wife's arm what he wanted her to tell him. Washington tapped out his instruction for 13 years until the bridge was built. That's the conquering spirit. The Apostle Paul talks about it in this way. We have troubles all around us, but we are not defeated. We do not know what to do, but we do not give up hope of living. We are persecuted, but God does not leave us. We are hurt sometimes, but we are not destroyed. Verse 8 to 9 NCV. Those words constitute the conquering spirit, the spirit God can give you. And that's the end of the third one, the conquering spirit. We have the troubles all around us, but we are not defeated. But that's the end of that one there. That was the subline for the conquering spirit from the UCB word for today. Before I end up having a runny nose all over my body, it sounds horrible, doesn't it? But I'd like to end the show in complete, style. And of course, I'd like to thank you all for watching. And this is the picture, by the way, that I've got of Dave on probably the right hand or the left hand side of your screen, and me is that one there. That's me, David Hitchcock. It probably in 2011 that picture was taken there. Can you see Dave right on the end there? In the middle, that is Emma Pike there. But anyway, of course, the picture can be seen on the We Love Haverhill Uncensored, and it will probably stay on there. Because I know Dave would want to be, if he's not around anymore, he would have wanted to be famous. But of course, he now is 6 foot under, apparently so. But that is a terrible shame because, of course, he was known for his quiz masters in Haverhill many, many years ago. So, we are thinking about Dave right now. Dave Hitchcock, the man on the moment here. And we should never forget him. He never ended up what he said he was going to do, end up at the Regal in Cambridge. He was definitely swearing that he was going to make it there, but unfortunately they don't have a disco there, and he never predicted that. But he did say one day, if the Arabs get in, there will be no discos. But something similar did have occur, which we all have worked it out. Well, some of us have, and some of us haven't worked it out. It's that COVID thing. But anyway, let's not talk too much about that. And let's end the show in complete style. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you all for watching. And we'll be back before you can say the words. Are you back already? And we'll carry on, hopefully, providing the community view from me and myself, Nick C. These truly and deeply. End of story for now. Until the next show, episode number 28, or, of course, the musical Beauty of Sound, we'll say cheerio for now.